Surprise Saudi club set to make a last-minute attempt to sign Jadon Sancho. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on this video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So this story is coming out from CBS Sports, which is obviously an American platform, news provider, whatever you want to call it. And they are reporting this afternoon that Al Ettifaq are set to launch an 11th hour bid to sign Jadon Sancho on loan. The story goes on to say that Steven Gerrard's club hope that a fresh start in the Saudi Arabian League can tempt Sancho to depart Old Trafford, at least temporarily, and have open discussions over a deal that would take the 23-year-old to the Pro League for the remainder of the season. It goes on to say that Al Ettifaq would be open to including a buy option in the deal, but given that the Saudi window closes in the next 12 hours, sources with knowledge of the negotiations believe it is more likely that the clubs will agree on a straight loan. So at the moment, it looks like they're discussing whether it will be a straight loan or a loan with an option to buy. This is mad. It really, really is. Now, we have had a couple of rumblings talking about this story over the last 24 to 48 hours, but this is the first time that a club has actually been named, and obviously it is Steven Gerrard's Al Ettifaq. I don't know what to think of this one. Obviously, with the Antony situation going on at the moment, the prospect of losing Antony, as well as obviously Ahmad being injured, Mason Greenwood obviously going as well. That's three players in those wing positions who aren't now available to Erik ten Hag, who he probably thought would be available for this season. I do, however, think that the relationship from an outside perspective looking in between Jadon Sancho and Manchester United at the moment is at rock bottom. To come out and, you know, speak against your manager in the public domain on Instagram or on Twitter or wherever it was, like, that is something that can't ever happen. It would never happen in Sir Alex Ferguson's day. And I think that Erik ten Hag, being the authoritarian figure that he is, he won't stand for that, and I don't think he should. So maybe this is the best option for Jadon Sancho. Obviously, we do have Pellistri, who I know a lot of you really, really want to see get some game time. Obviously, Amad Diallo will be back relatively soon. So you do have options in that right wing position. Obviously, Rashford has played there before as well. Maybe Garnacho can play there. There are people who can fill that position. And you know what? If Jadon Sancho isn't putting in 100% in training, and maybe he is creating a bit of a negative environment around the training ground, then maybe it is the best for both the club and the player to let him go to Saudi Arabia. As this story says, hopefully that it will tempt him to have a bit of a fresh start. There's a lot of good players in the Saudi League as well, so I don't think we need to be like, oh, he's a flop if he goes to the Saudi League. If this was a year ago, maybe, but if you actually look at some of the players that have moved over to the Saudi League in the last 12 months, it's absolutely crazy. So I think it'll be a good move for him. And you know what? From a Manchester United's perspective, as long as they cover all of the wages and they give us a loan fee, and I would even include this buy option in there, but I would want like the 75 million that we paid Dortmund. So if we could recoup as much of that 75 million as possible, and that option was there for them to do that, I think this is a good deal to be done. Obviously, Jadon is the highest paid player at Manchester United, which obviously does make it a little bit more difficult to talk about, doesn't it? Because if he was, you know, some new player who was only on £10,000 a week and he'd had a bit of a falling out with the manager, you could probably let it go. But to be on £350,000 a week and for the manager to not even pick you for the bench because you're not trying hard enough in training, I mean, it's very difficult to repair a relationship with the manager and the fans if that trust is gone. So for me, if this could happen, I think this would be a good move for Jadon, and I think it would be a good move for Manchester United. But as always, do let me know what your thoughts are on this Jadon Sancho story. Obviously, it's one that will fast develop over the next few hours. There's 12 hours left of the window over in Saudi Arabia, so we don't have too long to get this deal over the line if it is going to happen. Let me know your thoughts. Would you keep him? Would you let him go? Do you think the relationship can be rebuilt? Can you regain your trust in Jadon Sancho if it's been lost? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. A little bit more before we end the video. There's a story coming out from Rob Dawson today as well, saying that Erik ten Hag has been increasingly frustrated that Jadon Sancho's performance levels can dip wildly, sometimes week to week, the same as seen in training. And there's even some stories coming out saying that if Jadon isn't picked, he then doesn't perform in the training. If he is picked, he then does perform. So it's very one side of the other. It's very reactionary. If he plays the game, he'll do well in training that week. If he doesn't play the game, then he just won't try in training the next week, kind of thing. And obviously that can't happen. You need to give 110% when you're playing for Manchester United, whether you get picked or not. You know, you see people like Pellistri, you see people like Wan-Bissaka who literally don't play. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka does now, but you didn't hear a word out of him, did you? Nothing. He just trained hard, he got his opportunity and he took it, and now he's a vital part of the squad. And I just think that maybe Jadon Sancho isn't that type of player. Maybe he isn't a team player. Maybe he wants to play and he thinks he should play. if you've just been bought for 75 million and you're on 350 grand a week, I would probably want to play every week. I would expect that as well. So there's obviously two sides to the story, but do let me know your thoughts in the comment section of this one. Would you let Jadon go to Saudi? Please do smash a like on the video on your way out, and please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran, and I'll catch you guys all later.